It's a beautiful day here in Winchester, Virginia. A beautiful day and an exciting day as we continue to roll through our Apple Blossom festivities here. That brings us live from our Shenandoah Esports Arena here, where we get to take you through our top 8 remaining in the NECC National Tournament. I'm Chris Clayton, this is my lovely brother Kevin, and we have an exciting matchup for you tonight as the Shenandoah University Varsity Smash Bros team is geared up to take on Southwestern Oklahoma State University. Tongue twister that I'm sure will get me later on in the night as we look to settle the dust and see who's advancing to top 4.
And with all of that being said, when the fury is just incredibly fatal, I want to acknowledge how important it is for the players right now that they are feeling pretty excited about the matchup that they've got ahead of them right now. It's weird. They feel this sense of like worry, but also a sense of like pride that they've made it to this point in this tournament series and they want it all. They think that they can definitely keep going. I'm hoping we get to see a bit of that tonight because the players have been spending a lot of time outside of just practice time making sure that they have all the matchup knowledge necessary to make this an exciting series.
Absolutely, it certainly should be. And we started this tournament with, I believe, over 40 teams, and we come to you today with only 8 remaining. All have earned the right to compete here today, but only 4 will earn the right to keep dancing in the future. So we'll see if this team can get it done. We're used to this lineup at this point. We'll take you through wow, let me start over. We'll take you through the lineup we're expecting to see here tonight. Fall Rhombus, Kip, Igloo, and Willie, the usual 4, the 4 that have made their way through this tournament already. No major character surprises here tonight. I'm not expecting the Jigglypuff, Pac-Man, Yoshi, and likely Kazuya or Terry in that order, but as you see in the hot seat there, as we approach match time, we should be getting into a game here soon, which likely means the person sitting in that seat you see is Kip will likely be starting for us here tonight.
Yeah, and that brings up a pretty big factor in all of this, Chris. A lot of the players have been warming up, trying to get their ideal matchups ready and willing for the upcoming match. A lot of time spent in online arenas, in discords, trying to find people who made very specific characters to deal with the Southeastern Oklahoma State University roster.
Southwestern.
Close.
First of many, I'm sure, as we continue to try and work our way around this name. We'll get there eventually, I promise, yes. To all of you SWOSU fans potentially watching our stream. I promise we'll get there.
They got a nice logo.
They do have a nice logo. Great program. And again, so over 40 teams entered this tournament, and now both of the teams on our screens have outperformed their seed. Shenandoah coming into the tournament at the 13 seed, and Southwestern Oklahoma State coming in at the 12 seed. Both of these teams fresh off an upset in their previous rounds, Shenandoah knocking out Northwood by way of forfeit, but Southwestern Oklahoma State with a win over the 5 seed Houston. So a lot of momentum for both of these teams as they look to continue these borderline Cinderella runs.
And with that, we see the matchup. Chris, Kip up against Agent A Pac-Man versus a Samus, something that Kip was hoping for in this matchup. We did see that a lot of Shenandoah's players do have some difficult matchups up against Samus, and when it came to who wanted to deal with it, Kip took responsibility, sat down outside of practice time and said, I will get the Samus experience. We just need to find the time where they think they will send him in. And sure enough, both players make their first character choice, and it is Kip who walks away with what he wanted, at least going for now.
Yeah, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Agent A, the biggest threat in Southwestern Oklahoma State's last matchup against Houston. This Samus caused a whole bunch of problems for that Houston roster, and I'm sure they're expecting the same result here tonight. So a big moment, a big opportunity for SU to try and get through this Samus early, and we get, like you said, the matchup that I believe SU was hoping to get in this Samus. Nobody's gonna love it. Let's be frank with each other. Pac-Man does not love this matchup. Specifically, I know that the Zaire that Samus has can go through the hydrant and cause Pac-Man to drop his fruit charge, so keep an eye out for that interaction. But ultimately, both teams, I'm sure, getting the matchup they wanted and expected to start this off.
Yeah, so with that, we're looking for the problematic point of the Pac-Man matchup. Chris, Kip making it clear that he doesn't believe that Pac-Man has great options to knock out an opponent, but has found opportunities to land a couple of bells at this point and is looking for these keys. Samus doing a good job of shielding those options, not committing to anything too crazy, taking the chip damage, going forward, and accepting that they can hold on to the stock as long as needed, as long as it doesn't go down to a hit like that.
Oh, great hydrant placement at the ledge there by Kip, racking up the percentage, now 170%. Running out of opportunities to really string combos around. It's going to take stray hits like that to close this stock out, but Kip has found a good few in a row, so you have to think one of them will send Agent A to the blast zone here soon. But now Kip in a bit of a corner himself. Well-placed charge shot charge, but doesn't come out. A down air into an up air from Agent A, still not enough. Wow, the down smash through the hydrant just finishes Kip, and now down to his last stock, still struggling to find his first.
Yeah, it didn't even send the hydrant flying. Samus doing a good job air dodging, grabbing the fruit, going for a quick little pass by, getting the extension off of the hydrant. It seems like the Samus may have a little bit of experience with the matchup, or is just very willing to play with the extended hitboxes that a lot of Pac-Man's moves offer in return. So right now, we do see back throw, Samus going for it all, instead losing the stock to a hydrant. It was a very bold play. It's the kind of play that can easily win you a crew battle, but we are only in the first matchup, Chris, and therefore Agent A did lose one stock, and Kip is looking the opportunity to get another.
Yeah, Shenandoah definitely on the back foot right now. A rough start to this one, but Kip still with, you said it, an opportunity to try and walk away with more than one stock. Now up to 100% of his own and gets grabbed through the hydrant. So now launched off stage, forced to air dodge, play around those charge shots. That one couldn't come out in time, so Kip does make it back onto the stage, going for grabs. Both these characters going through grabs, going for grabs through the hydrant. Neither one able to land, but again, these up airs that hit so hard for Samus, starting to really threaten this last stock for Kip.
Yeah, we do see beating out the neutral charge shot in exchange for a key use. A pretty solid use of that. We do see Samus go for a very aggressive up B that would have been able to KO if it connected, but because it swings wide, we did see Kip get a little bit more off of it and does have a bell charge. Up air going high for Samus. It won't connect just yet. Kip looking for another opportunity to keep things rolling. Ooh! There's the hydrant off the side of the stage, but Samus is just heavy enough, along with some very good DI, to hold on for a little bit longer.
And this has been a tale of two halves, hasn't it? Oh no, Kip does get grabbed through the hydrant, so close to clawing back and finding a second stock, but Agent A gets away with it, and now SU has their first player knocked out, and momentum in Southwestern Oklahoma State University's favor.
Yeah, and you can see it on the eyes of the players. They definitely wanted more going into that, but even so, it's clear that this is the player that Shenandoah wants to put a lot of respect on, that they need to spend a lot of resources trying to deal with. When looking at some of the other crew battles that they had seen, they felt pretty good about some of the other matchups. So now, with 3 players left, you have to wonder who's going to be the one to potentially go in, try and mix up the Samus player a little bit more, and cause that disruption. Which matchup do you think might be able to be flexed between one player, 2 opponents?
Yeah, it's tough to say because I know that SU really, these characters, the Yoshi, the Jigglypuff, the Kazuya / Terry, really don't love the Samus matchup. It sounded like Kip on the Pac-Man was the least bad option. But, I mean, I was talking to Captain Igloo before the series, and he said that Samus is genuinely one of the worst matchups in the game for Yoshi. So, now we also know that Igloo has a Samus of his own. I'm not sure how comfortable he feels pulling it out at this level of play, but that might be what it takes to knock this Samus player out.
And we also saw a little bit of Igloo warming up against Samus's online as well. I've seen that just be more of a, like, maybe not in the last couple of days, but even before, like, last week, the week before, it's clear that Captain Igloo is, like, really trying to find the best way to deal with that matchup. when you have an 0-2 matchup, Chris, or like your 0-3 matchup, whatever it is, it's pretty easy to tell why. But there are definitely ways to mitigate that. And the nice thing about crew battles is that you're only dealing with one person's set of 3 stocks. You're not dealing with a tournament series where you need to take the 3 or walk away crying. So with all that being said, there is a pretty tall ask ahead of Captain Igloo here, who will be going in. Try to take these 2 stocks with whatever you can. If anything, I think it's more on try to take these 2 and then get the extra credit later on, rather than it is try to take these 2 and none or 1 or whatever. Like, your opponent right now is the one that's in front of you. Have the rest of the Shenandoah roster try to find a way to get through the rest.
Yeah, and especially with the mentality that we did see this Samus cause major issues for the University of Houston's team, right? And we know that what we see after Shenandoah is, at least on paper, less afraid by. Avery goes low. Oh, wow. Magnet hands out of Agent A, able to grab the ledge from that far away. Big opportunity there for Igloo, but will come up empty-handed other than some good damage. And wow, I mean, playing like he's got nothing to lose, and that might be what it takes to win this matchup.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm seeing a lot more of these aggressive forward airs. Chris, that's a lot. That is more forward airs than I have seen out of Igloo during the rest of this season. Something has clicked over the last couple of days because we don't see aggressive forward airs like that. That's something Igloo has been trying to learn over the last couple of weeks, is trying to figure out how to be more aggressive while being safe with those forward airs. And this time around, it's working out in dividends.
Yeah, strong start out of Igloo, but now Agent A starting to strike back, racking some percentage of their own, and catching Igloo with a big charge shot up by the platform on that one. Able to avoid the next one, but a back air catches the very heel. Igloo taking that one to the face. So gets sent to the blast zone, will lose his first, but not after a very strong start again. So trading even stocks in this matchup, you have to think that Igloo would be more than happy with.
Yeah, but at this point, I also think we're expecting to see a lot more stage control out of Igloo. The tether does not work this time around because Igloo was on the platform, able to find the egg, catching Samus in the shield just a little too long. Means that Igloo will have to burn the double jump, have to do a little bit of a B-reverse to dance around the Samus setup, but will find an opportunity back on the center stage. There are those forward airs again, Chris, chasing Samus all the way up into the heavens, trying to get that last hit, but even so, is now caught in a pretty dangerous ledge trap.
Yeah, it can be hard to get out of these corners against a Samus, especially when they're playing like that with the up-tilt spikes. Who's struggling to get out of these hitboxes, these chain multi-hit moves, but throwing the up airs out. Great tech to stay out of the blast zone, stay out of danger. Igloo walks up and finds his nair to get Agent A off stage. They are able to make it back to the ledge once again, continuously surprising me with some of these recoveries.
Yeah, keep an eye on this charge shot, Chris. If Agent A goes for another charge shot, it's been a lot of charges, but instead goes for a very aggressive up B like we saw against Kip and Igloo. Chris is a bad man.
That's a bad man, Kevin. We say it all the time, and that's exactly why Igloo goes into a self-described worst matchup he can think of and comes out positive, comes out +1 and brings down Agent A. So now SU with an opportunity, down 1 stock in the grand scheme, but in a pretty favorable position long term.
You know how Captain Igloo, like, you want proof that Captain Igloo is all business? There was no pop-off after that. It was immediately looking over at the other players and giving all the information of what he saw, what habits were there. Like, listen, hey, going forward into Series 2, this is what you need to be looking out for. Here's where they're air dodging. Here's where they're trying to land. Here's the double jump setups, the bomb setups. Here's your options, blah, blah, blah. It's all business. And that is so important. Again, we're in top 8, everybody. You need to be as focused as you can at this point. Give your players as much information as possible in a fighting game, and they can run away with it all.
Absolutely. So SU gets away with a big one and avoids disaster, frankly, against Agent A. And now Southwestern Oklahoma State gets their choice, right? Who do you send in to this Yoshi? Well, we haven't looked at their roster much yet in this show, but we are fairly confident that the players we will see tonight are the Samus we just saw, and then a Game & Watch, a Palutena, and then either a Kazuya or a Joker. So, tough, right? We saw that Game & Watch also had a good amount of success against the University of Houston 2 weeks ago. But I have reason to believe that Igloo actually likes that Game & Watch matchup.
I believe that too. There's not much you can bucket. Like, that's a whole move taken out of Game & Watch's equation. And frankly, there are plenty of matchups that the bucket won't always come into play, which is all good. But you're also talking about a character who a lot of his moves just kind of set up for like shield pokes and like armored through your up, or like armored up B into down air, just doing that over and over, trying to get a little bit of chip damage. Nice thing about it, Yoshi, you can't get shield poked. It's one whole egg the entire time, and you have a double armor, or you have a double jump armor that allows you to beat out, essentially, a lot of what Game & Watch has to offer. So I'm curious now, if now that Igloo has those two stocks in hand, that it does lead up to a potential setup where you are able to take more than you were expected to, but you have to play into the fact that they have counterpick. And between Kazuya Joker, like that sounds scary. Obviously, I know for a fact Captain Igloo has practice against both of those characters. I mean, Willie is on the roster, and Moon Lady stops by here all the time.
Was here earlier today.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, though that matchup alone, like that experience alone, will pay off incredibly well. But on top of that, I mean, like, Palutena is a very stock standard. I shouldn't say that. Palutena is a very... You go into it, and you have a pretty good idea of what your opponent is going to do. It's going to be on the Palutena to pick right in their 50-50s, whether it is trying to find a grab and go for the Nair Train, to go for a whiff punish and go for the Nair Train, or something along those lines. Take your free 60 and then try to take the stock from there.
Yeah, what I have to, and I'll go back and clarify as well, what we saw against University of Houston was those first three characters, those first three players every set, the Samus, the Game & Watch, and the Palutena, and then the Joker and the Kazuya are two separate players that were subbed out.
Okay.
Now, granted, again, we could see either of them, but instead, a massive decision here to swap to Corrin. Mr. Draco was the Joker I was referring to, so same player, different character, not one that I believe we saw or were necessarily prepared for.
Leo, by the way. With all that being said, this matchup could be a little bit difficult. A lot of it will come down to how Igloo deals with some of the aerial pressure that Corrin has. Those nairs into the forward airs can string a lot of percent pretty quickly. But man, Chris, can it really stack up fast. I'm looking to see right now if the Corrin can get this first hit of the combo, but right now it looks like a lot more chip damage than anything else.
Yeah, so we sit at neutral stage, neither player going for anything too risky, anything too committal, and makes total sense, right? We see that a Igloo with a stock disadvantage here has a hole to climb out of and is going to have to play a bit more safe. We saw a lot of aggression in the last matchup because we knew how unfavorable it was for Igloo, but not seeing as much of that. A big shield there and spot dodge to avoid a lot of damage, and now Igloo with an opportunity. Draco at the ledge cannot get capitalized there, so Igloo returns back to the stage, and we go back to the game we're playing. Very slow, nice forward air there, but Igloo does find his first, and we tie up the stock count at 8.
Yeah, I'm liking the movement I'm seeing from Mr. Draco. It's a lot of fluid motion between the platforms, using that pin to get the mix-ups on potential options afterwards. Look at how they just use the platforms to stop the ending lag of canceling the side B. I mean, that could really lead to some crazy setups, but while movement is incredibly important in Ultimate, you need to find your way to KO.
Oh, wow.
And that up air covering that space, covering the Yoshi double jump will be enough to KO Igloo in exchange.
Yeah, all right. So we trade stocks and return back to low percentages. Igloo opting to play slow, stay on his side of the stage and throw some eggs. Play safe, avoid hitboxes, but finds his way in. A great nair. Tries to connect it into a jab, but a great egg placement there, leading to a back air, another egg, and Igloo's feeling good. He goes for the spike, it won't quite land. They're able to get off the ledge, but not before being instantly grabbed. So, Igloo continuing to throw out these forward airs that we're so not used to. A nice B reverse there. Finds a great combo there. The up smash into the down B, goes off stage for more. Another one goes just wide, and now Draco looking for more, but the down B just confirms center stage a little too high, and Igloo ties the stock count once again.
Yeah, so at this point, Igloo has found exactly what he was looking for in this series and a little more. At this point, it is very possible for Igloo to take one more off of Mr. Draco, but even so, the big, hard ask of this has been done. Can you find another opportunity? These eggs are doing work, Chris, but Corn has been returning it in stride as well. Going for another egg setup, but the pin does hit the double jump, able to get back onto the ledge, Chris, but it won't be enough as we reset back to neutral.
Yeah, Corn going for a good amount of these side Bs. Very strong move. Again, Igloo with the neutral B into the up smash. Good damage there. Not any knockback, as that's how that egg works. But again, these forward airs are really fishing, and Igloo is catching some of them. He's catching fish from time to time, but see if he's able to find a big one here, as now Corn finds himself up at 100%, looking for a forward smash. Some desperate options! Wow, and another one of those forward airs. That's the most pop-off you'll ever see from Captain Igloo there. A fist bump and move on to next matchup, but he is on a roll right now, Kev.
That Corn, you could tell Mr. Draco was feeling the pressure near the end of that series. There were a lot of double jump back airs trying to call out Igloo's double jump, which took a stock earlier that round. But Igloo, sitting back, playing the slow game, played very grounded for a Yoshi and was able to dance around those options to find the last stock. 3 stocks for 1, Chris. That's a very big ask, especially against 2 players that I believe Shenandoah's roster was very worried about.
Yeah, and now SU, again, avoiding disaster, clawing out of a 2-stock hole not too long ago, and finds himself up 1 stock. Now, we did get word from our production, and as I look at my notes, I do realize a slight technicality. The Joker player that I was referring to earlier, their name is Big Draco. That was Mr. Draco, and I've been informed by production that those are 2 different players.
That feels like a brother thing. I feel like we
maybe
do that.
I don't know, but either way, I have been informed by our production team that that is not the Joker. So Joker's still on the table as Southwestern Oklahoma State looks to send in their next player.
Alrighty. With all that being said, now you have a dino in front of you, and this dino is looking to hunt. The answers can include, from what we have scouted, Joker, Kazuya, and Game & Watch. We talked already a little bit about the benefits of that Game & Watch matchup for Igloo. On the other side of that coin, it could just be pretty overwhelming. Igloo now playing a little bit more of that grounded game. If he's caught on the ground up against the Game & Watch down smash at 60, that dino's going extinct once again.
Yeah.
On top of that, I mean, can you dance around Kazuya? Can you dance around Joker? I don't know, Chris.
Yeah, there's one that you left out in there, Palutena. Afforgot, Afforgo, Affergot. I assuming Afforgot, I don't know. But the Palutena player, and it looks like that is who we're going to get next. So a big decision there, and one that now is interesting into this Shenandoah squad specifically, because this squad, all 4 of them, have a lot of experience against Palutena, and I regret that I don't know the player's name. Well, Jalen, yeah, was another one. That might be who I'm thinking of. I don't remember, but there, or at least are, Palutena players, or at least one Palutena player that our whole team seems to have a lot of experience against. So this is a matchup that I don't think is necessarily bad for any of our players, but experience-wise, I believe that most of the roster feels pretty comfortable into this.
And experience can take you a long way, Chris. You're not asking your player who has 1 stock to go in and get 3. if that is your ask, something else went wrong earlier in the crew battle. But to get as much value as you can on this one stock, knowledge will carry you pretty far. So, with all that being said, I do believe we are hopping into game here in just a moment. I'm curious to see, can Igloo's knowledge, is it enough to deal with Palu able to secure a pretty easy 60% pretty early on? Can Igloo hold on to the stock as long as possible to try and even that out?
Yeah, a lot of heat around this Yoshi right now. A lot of momentum around Igloo right now. Can he translate that into another stock or two with a fresh percentage? New matchup now at 0%. Well, not any longer, but you know what I mean. Or, I forgot. Will they be able to put out this fire and find some success of their own? It doesn't look like it just yet. Wow, and the egg connects too.
Oh,
wow,
goodness.
Igloo can't miss. Oh, but Afforgot does make it back to the ledge, but not before taking 100% from Igloo. Momentum does not seem to want to stop yet, Kevin.
Yeah, Igloo is very clearly wanting to keep this series alive for Shenandoah, finding a couple more good hits, but I forgot doing a good job of holding on, not playing too aggressive. Here comes that combo game. No, the Yoshi double jump will be able to bail Igloo out of a start of a combo, but there we go. A couple more good hits will keep that percentage racking up slowly but surely. It's a time game at this point, Chris. Something's got to give one way or another.
Yeah, and Igloo avoiding a good amount of damage. I mean, we saw a couple of those aerials start to land, but Igloo only at now 70% after those interactions, whereas Afforgot well over 100%, looking like maybe 1-2 hits away from a lost stock. A great nair there to at least get Palutena off stage. Back air cannot land, but caught teleporting. Igloo unable to capitalize on that one. So, Afforgot opts for the range game for a short amount of time, runs right up in nairs. 140% on this Palutena, and Igloo just looking for the one to put it away.
Yeah, there's that back air. Because of the high percent, won't combo into the up air too easily. Good DI from Palutena, but a back air catching the approach will be enough to take one more stock, adding it to Igloo's record.
Yeah, Igloo now getting through 6 stocks total on a tear right now, and still with an opportunity to get more. Look at the back airs, look at the nair. I mean, that's 30% on the board, and this dinosaur's pretty hard to finish off. He falls out of the nair and strings it into more of his own. Afforgot teleports to center stage, and Igloo caught a little off guard by it, but another up air connects, and now Afforgot dangerously close to losing another stock here.
Bro, who let this dino fly? Who let this dino hunt? There's a goddess on the screen, Chris, and it is losing to the dinos. It's insanity how this matchup is playing out because it feels like it shouldn't be this close, and yet even so, Igloo is just doing an amazing job of holding on to the stock. Is on the hunt all the time. The forward tilt connects, but it's not going to be enough, Chris. It's going to have to take one more. The upside connects. It will hit the shield of Igloo. Igloo finds another, Chris. Igloo is playing out of his mind.
Make it 160% still on the board, and Afforgot just struggling to find their one. Igloo has now found multiple and sends Southwestern Oklahoma State down to 4 stocks. A dash attack finally gets Igloo off screen, but Southwestern Oklahoma State finds himself in a massive hole that I don't think any of us could have expected.
That was a sinister grin we just saw at Igloo, Chris.
He knows he got away with something.
He knows he got away with something and more. There are vaults of Smash Bros. Stocks that have just been stolen, have been robbed from, and everyone's looking around wondering who's done it. The answer, the dinosaur. Crazy stuff. To see that Igloo played such a patient game, played so aggressively with the momentum, and the combo game of Palutena, the free 60% that I was talking about that most matchups just inherently have. Igloo was able to jump out of it. That was crazy stuff.
Yeah, Igloo bringing some serious fire to the team right now, and when they needed it most, after a rocky start into Agent A, now Shenandoah with all the momentum in the world and a big opportunity here. I have to assume that the next character or the next player for SU will likely be Far Rhombus on the Jigglypuff to try and take out this one stock against Palutena for ultimately, theoretically, Willie to close out the whatever's left after Far Rhombus if Far Rhombus can't get through these 4 stocks. The biggest thing is what we assume to be the one remaining player for Swosu is this Game & Watch. And Game & Watch is a nightmare matchup for Far Rhombus, for Jigglypuff, and a little uncomfortable for Willie as well, I believe. I'm pretty sure that SU was hoping to have Game & Watch behind them by this stage in the game, but not the end of the world. I do know that Willie is extremely comfortable into Palutena, so I have to think that SU probably won't send Willie out yet, but there is a bit of an issue looming in the form of who this last player for Southwestern Oklahoma is.
Yeah, a lot of it will come down to, are you a numbers person or are you a fundamentals person? Because Willie is and has been the anchor for Shenandoah for a majority of this semester. If Willie feels good into the Palutena matchup, you can throw him in early to just say, all right, hey, let's take this stock, let's try to get some momentum building right out the gate. That's very fine, that's the numbers game. But you also don't want to give too much info about your anchor at this point. The less you can reveal about that game plan, the better off you will be going forward. So, with all that being said, we are confirming that Far Rhombus will be making an appearance. Palu will SD 2 times before we get started with this matchup, and it will be on Far Rhombus to find one good string, potentially, to close out this Palu. But I believe also that those nairs are going to cause a lot of problems, Chris.
Yeah, and they're already coming out in droves here. Great combo there by Afforgot going off stage. Just barely doesn't land the back air, or it looked like a footstool attempt there, but Far Rhombus now back on stage does get caught by another nair, and now the percentage racking up. We know that Jigglypuff can die at pretty early percentages, so I won't rule anything out just yet, but 62, a little scary for Jigglypuff, but now Ariel's starting to land the other direction. Side B goes wide, and Far Rhombus with an opportunity, looking for the falling up air below that platform. You know that he's got his eye out for potential rest.
Yeah, and look at how now Far Rhombus is kind of playing it slow, trying to deal with these Palutena aerials. Palutena doing a good job of throwing out all those projectiles, those big hitboxes to really dance around these options. 1 pound will connect, it won't combo to anything crazy, but Palu going for a teleport cancel back air will try to end Far Rhombus' stock. Instead, will eat a little bit from Far Rhombus in exchange, as both players are hitting that late percentage where one back air will KO from either side. Far Rhombus able to find the first, or Afforgot able to find the first one. Far Rhombus down 1 stock.
Yeah, now Far Rhombus still with a lot of successful work now behind him, getting this Palutena up to 100%, just looking to put it away at this point. One good back air might be enough, depending on where on the stage it's able to connect, but so far, a lot of momentum in Afforgot's way, finding a lot of these aerials, more nairs, more forward airs, gets hit by a down air, but Far Rhombus able to get out of danger that time around.
Yeah, this is a matter of hitboxes, Chris. It's very difficult right now for Jigglypuff to land, and it's because Afforgot is throwing out just so many hitboxes to take up space to just try and cause problems for Far Rhombus. Far Rhombus needs to stick those limbs out to get the hits, and because of that, Afforgot is doing a really good job of dancing around that. Ooh. But the teleport is called out. Does go a little high. Dash attack connects, sending the other way. It won't KO just yet, but see teleport recovery, able to get back. The dash attack connects, and it will be enough for Far Rhombus to send Afforgot back to the bench.
That is a big one for SU. Far Rhombus trades 1 for 1 and forces Swosu to pull out their last player. Reveal who this one is, because now, again, we have quite a lengthy list of options where we didn't really think we did before, right? We've seen the Corrin, the Samus, the Palutena, and that leaves us with a Kazuya, Joker, and Game & Watch still on the table. Again, we were under the assumption that we would see at least the Samus, Game & Watch, Palu in every series here, or every set here tonight, and that still is technically true. This last one could be the Game & Watch, but cannot rule out those other two players.
Yeah, I feel like Game & Watch has the best opportunity to really shake things up. If you're playing for the information, if you're playing for matchup knowledge, just off of pure understanding of the game, it feels like Game & Watch has the most tools to deal with the situation that would be ahead of this player. That doesn't mean that you fall into that. You could, for all I know, the Kazuya player could roll up and say, hey, listen, I know Kazuya. I'm going to whoop this Kazuya. Like, who's this Willy character? I don't know who that is. Like, that is a very real aspect of these crew battles, is kind of forsaking the numbers game, forsaking what's up here and going for more what's in here, what's down here, what's in your gut, and just kind of rolling with the punches. Sometimes that's the best option in a fighting game.
Yeah, and we'll see what the option is. It does look like the answer will be E-Dog on this Game & Watch. That is more or less what we were expecting. So the biggest problem, again, now, we do believe that Game & Watch is sort of a horror matchup for Jigglypuff specifically. But Faramis with an opportunity to try and come out with any credit, anything to make the job a little bit easier for Willy, who I assume would go, well, I guess I won't predict who Willy might play in the Game & Watch because I'm not actually sure. But that's the situation. That's the roadmap ahead of us, and Faramis is got an open door for him.
Yeah, we do get a little bit of information back here as well that the stage counterpick is going to be Kalos, which means that we're playing with a very high ceiling, Chris. Those rest situations won't work nearly as early this time around, which means that it's going to be on Faramis to try and figure out another way to KO. Those dash attacks, this crew battle and the last crew battle have been putting in work. That might be the option going forward. Could be going off stage looking for some back airs. You just got to be careful when you're playing against this Game & Watch player, because the characters are just very sporadic. They move around a lot.
Yeah, big window, a big opportunity for Faramis specifically, is getting caught shielding as well. We know that Faramis is very observant against enemies that lean on their shield a bit too much, and he is not afraid to start throwing out pounds and find kills that way if it comes down to it. So maybe we'll see a bit of that, right? That'll be something to keep an eye on for us back here as well as Faramis, is how much does E-Dog like to shield under pressure situations. But yeah, I have to imagine it'll be difficult on a stage like this and in a matchup like this for Jigglypuff to walk away with kills.
Yeah, there are two types of Game & Watches in the world. Those who sit in their shield and up B, and those who don't and still up B. It's going to, if this is a Game & Watch player who does sit in their shield a good amount, like, that is their cue, like their visual cue for like, okay, now I can up B it, it's safe, blah, 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 blah. Like, that is definitely that's a play style. That's how you can really take full advantage and not risk yourself on anything. On the other side of that, sometimes if your opponent does have pretty good shield break options, you could be on the wrong side of the move and lose your shield up against a pink puffball. So I'm curious to see, as we see a lot of neutral B to start things off. Okay, one grab into the nair, getting things rolling as Faramis takes on a quick landing and is looking to get a couple of hits to add that percent.
Yeah, Faramis SDs once and we get into the action, right? Down one stock in this head-to-head. But again, an opportunity to just soften the load, lighten the load for Willy coming in next, or close this out entirely, right? I'm sure Faramis in his head is looking to just wrap this up and send everybody home, but we'll get there when we get there, right? One stock at a time, and Faramis down one stock in the head-to-head. Gonna have to play a little bit careful, but nothing Jigglypuff can't get away with, right? We see the pounds coming out. Not that none of them landed on shields just yet, but a couple up smashes, a charged forward smash out of Faramis. Now a bit of a reversal sends Faramis close to the blast zone. Now 96% on this little puffball, and the forward air connects and doesn't find the stock on that part of the stage. Surprise to me, but maybe not to anybody else.
No, it's a bit of a surprise, Chris, but it's Kalos, baby. We got a big stage with a big blast zone that will put in a lot of work to make Jigglypuff go from a very light character with pretty hard survivability to a character who can hold on for a little bit longer. As these back airs connect, that would have KO'd on just about any other stage, Chris, I'm telling you. It's beautiful to see how the stage counter picks are kind of working out on both sides. Again, the neutral B coming out from the Game & Watch player. I'm seeing a lot more of that than I normally expect, but even so, both players are looking for up smashes. The quick jab will be enough, but it won't KO the stock just yet, as Game & Watch goes to the heavens to look to KO Farambis.
Yeah, up air lands up above the platform, but still not enough. The neutral air from basically the ground is the one to finally get it done, but quickly responded by Farambis again. The task was simple, get whatever you can, and that's another big one for Farambis and this SU squad. E-Dog now down to 2 stocks to work with against the rest of this SU squad. Interesting interactions there, extended hitboxes from the Pound and the Sausages, the neutral B out of E-Dog, but we return back to, oh man, neutral stage. God, he wants more, but not going to come up with anything just yet as we go back to center stage. Both players still at pretty low percent.
Yeah, and at this point, Game & Watch doing a good job of sitting around looking for a good follow-up, just taking those nairs in stride, a couple of sausage hits, going for a little bit more. Able to use the back air, get a couple more hits in, but now looking for those up smashes.
What is going on?
Chris, what is going on? Chris, I mean, it's Game & Watch, my friend. You can throw those out and still be okay for the next millennia because Game & Watch and lag on the smash attacks are very low. You can just throw out those smash attacks as much as you want, which means that if E-Dog wants to just close the stock that way, E-Dog will try to close the stock that way.
Yeah, percentage certainly favoring E-Dog, and sure enough, the forward air will close it out. So Farambis bows out, but not before taking one off this pesky Game & Watch, leaving SU with 1 player left, and a big decision for that 1 player. Who do you send in to deal with a Game & Watch up 1 stock?
Yeah, and you can see it on the camera right now. He's definitely talking to the team about it. There are definitely pros and cons to both sides of this matchup. On the one hand, Kazuya wants to grab this Game & Watch. Now, what we saw out of this Game & Watch is, I forgot to mention that there are 3 types of Game & Watches. There are the ones who hold shield and up B, there are the ones who don't hold shield and up B, and there are the ones who are spamming shield trying to get a parry and then go into up B. That was the Game & Watch that we saw. It was a lot of tap shield, walk away if they're not close enough, or tap shield, up B. Which means that, shockingly, they're playing a very grounded game. You could bring Kazuya into this with that in mind, but you also need to respect the knowledge of this player. They could see Kazuya Mishima and say, I will not touch the ground for as long as I live.
Yeah.
And that will completely neutralize that matchup. Maybe you send in Terry. Maybe you try to forsake a little bit of that just snowball potential in exchange for more opportunities to call out the Game & Watch jumps. We did see a good handful of those. A couple of nair strings might be enough into a burn knuckle to close out a stock early. Truth be told, Willie is the one who makes this decision, and it's hard to fault Willie either way because the matchup knowledge that this player has, the character knowledge that this player has, is beyond, I'd say, 99% of the Smash Bros. Player base.
Yeah, and that's it. We were just talking about it. I mean, there's a lot of weight behind this Willie name now, as one of the better Kazuyas in this, certainly the best Kazuya in this region, let alone potentially like around the country. But I certainly don't mean to hype him up too much, right? I know you can probably hear me out there. But there's no denying that Willie's a phenomenal Smash Bros. Player. I don't think anyone would argue with that. I don't think Willie would argue with that. But in a matchup like this, yeah, experience matters, knowledge matters, and it's safe to say that Willie has a lot of that, getting around the game for as long as he has. So we knew it would be a close one, right? Quarterfinals in this NECC Nationals tournament. 8 teams remain. They all have to have earned their way to get here, and these teams are both showing how they got here. But big opportunity for both squads here. Southwestern Oklahoma State down 1 stock in their last matchup that we will see in this first set. either team could come out on top, but advantage SU going into it.
Yes, and back here we will see receive word that the character pick for Willie will be Mr. Kazuya Mishima, Mr. Scary Demon Man, making the appearance once again to cause some havoc. And as we get started, Game & Watch going for the quick SD, running to the opposite side of the stage, just had a preference. But I am curious to see, it's going to be difficult for Willie to find the first hit, especially if this Game & Watch is playing that airborne game. Look at that, one up B right onto the platform, and that's what you need to do as Willie looks for the down smash to start things off and try and get a major momentum game started. But look at that, one good exchange up to 70. On the other side of this, Willie was trying to send Game & Watch to the bottom blast. So, Chris.
Yeah, Willie looking for it all there, but if nothing else, finds some good percentage back. So, again, going to be hard to find his way in. He does get caught by the down smash, and it charges into an up smash. A strong stock taken there out of E-Dog to tie the stock count up without too much trouble. So, 46%, all that Willie has to show for it for now, but, oh, it does get caught by the neutral B there. E-Dog caught rolling on the platform, and laser comes out, does not connect with the bucket, but E-Dog ready for it nonetheless. So keep an eye out for that the longer we go on.
Yeah, the bucket in this matchup can actually be extremely dangerous, Chris, so it's going to be on Willie to be very careful with those lasers. Ooh. But E-Dog caught going for the jab after the N-lag. Kazuya sitting there with some nice super armor will be able to beat him out as there's the down smash. 1, 2, knock him down. Will he be able to make it back? He will, but 66% in the favor of Willie.
Yeah, now close to the kill button, and he's got it. The rage drive on the line, but not for long. Well set up, confirmed there by E-Dog to finish it off with the forward tilt the chair. So now both of these teams down to their last stock, last player. We see the matchup preference there on the left. Willie couldn't like it more. He's actually a big fan of Kazuya into Game & Watch, so we'll see if it's enough to pay off. But percentage starting to even out, where E-Dog came into this with an advantage, is starting, or at a disadvantage, has built up an advantage of his own.
That's it, Chris. One up B will be able to connect. No, it's not. I apologize. A very good DI from E-Dog will be able to make it back onto the stage. Willie looking for an opportunity to land. The down smash does not hit in the grounded sweet spot. Willie with the KO button will be looking for that final hit. Does get the air version. It will connect on the stage. Is it enough? It is! Willie able to close it out in a sigh of relief as Shenandoah takes Series 1 in this beautiful battle.
Wow, all right, set 1 falls SU's way, and Willie takes a big sigh of relief, as I'm sure that was closer than he was expecting and closer than the team was expecting, but a win's a win. Now SU finds himself up 1-0 in quarterfinals here. An exciting start after what looked like a scary start to set 1, but ultimately SU able to bounce back, take control, and now take a lot of momentum into set number 2.
Yeah, and just think, Chris, Rage Drive wasn't even used there. That was a normal down B that was able to KO. And that just kind of speaks to the strength of Kazuya, as well as the fact that Game & Watch, has a lot of great tools to get out of sticky situations, that up B putting in God's work. But frankly, when it comes to, like, hitting Game & Watch at a certain point, that character is literally paper thin. That character will go down pretty early. So Willie, having good knowledge of that, looking for the down B, catching out this Game & Watch, who again, looking for a lot of those perfect parries. Perfect parry the command grab on the wrong hitbox. I mean, like, you want to know when someone is looking for perfect parries, that's your answer right there, is when they're trying to perfect parry a move that shouldn't be able to be perfect parry.
Yeah, well, ultimately, not enough to give Southwestern Oklahoma State the advantage, so we come out on top. And now the decision, the question is, do you change anything? I mean, both teams, ultimately that did go down to both teams' last stock, both players at pretty high percentages, could have gone either way. So if you're Swosu here, are you comfortable with a salty run back?
Oh, that's a tough question. Because Samus did work. Like, Samus put in the work to start things off. But also, like, we saw Captain Igloo talking with Kip, just giving a rundown. Like, hey, here's all the things that I'm seeing, and that might be enough to really shake it up and just kind of secure that momentum back for Shenandoah. It's tough to say. I think Shenandoah wanted Kip for that Samus matchup to start things off. Usually, I'd say 9 times out of 10, winning team doesn't usually change their starting lineup, but the opposing team usually feels the pressure to do so. Do they think that Samus may need to be saved for someone else? Maybe it needs to be saved for Kazuya. I don't know. Game & Watch was doing good.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Now, something I did notice, if you remember all the way back to the Samus Pac-Man matchup, is that it started really strong in favor of the Samus, but Kip did start to get a rhythm going near the end and almost came up with that second stock. Went down last minute and unfortunately couldn't come up with it, but where that matchup headed seemed to be in favor of Kip, and maybe that's something that SU likes. Maybe that's something that they noticed as well. We will have to wait and see. But we're going to take a quick break between these sets, let the players take a quick breather. We're going to take a quick breather, and we encourage you to do so as well. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back with set number 2 of this quarterfinal series.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry, so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth, where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
Well, sorry about that. Slight technical difficulties, but it seems like the players got ready before we were ready. And nothing wrong with that. These players are eager to get back into it, and I cannot blame them. In case you missed it, you missed a nail-biter. Set 1 between Shenandoah University and Southwestern Oklahoma State went all the way down to 1 stock for both sides, but SU comes out on top. I'm Chris Clayton. This is my lovely brother Kevin Clayton, and we're getting ready to take you into set number 2 of this quarterfinal series.
Yeah, and so when we're going into this, the big question on the table, who needs to change up their matchups? Because while Shenandoah walked away with the win for the series, it didn't start off great. So it's the matter of, do you feel the pressure to change? Who does feel the pressure to change? In my experience, it's the team that usually goes down in the series, but that could very well change. Even so, we do get a little bit of matchup experience here, a little bit of foresight, as we get to see that it will be Kip returning once again, but a change-up for Swosu, the Mr. Draco, making an appearance.
Yeah, okay, so I have to think that Kip went out first here with the idea being that he would get the Samus rematch, but ultimately not what happened. So a mix-up from Swosu. We'll see if it pays off, but have to think, at least strategically, this is not what SU was prepping for, but it's going to be what they have to overcome. So far, Mr. Draco looking to be in control, now getting Kip up to 87%, but not really much kill threat just yet. The Hydrant And next with Kip's shield, the fruit gets grabbed, but no threat there either. So Kip, again, just kind of being pesky, fighting around these hitboxes and staying alive and not really letting Mr. Draco come up with much.
Yeah, Mr. Draco is doing a really good job of sitting in Kip's blind spots and trying to take advantage of Kip being the one to initiate. Normally, Kip doesn't feel the pressure to get momentum going. He's usually able to charge the fruit and the opponent feels the need to approach. But this time around, it's quite the opposite, as Mr. Draco was looking for a ledge regrab, but there ain't no invincibility in this game on a ledge regrab, which means that the bell will connect nice and pretty. Kip able to find the forward smash and close out a stop.
Yeah, you said it. Pressure can really fall on the opponent to try to find a way around these fruits. Mr. Draco tried to find one there. Oh man, does make it back to the ledge. Yeah, it could have been a disastrous situation. Does Corrin have a kill throw?
Kind of. It's weird. A little bit more and that will KO.
Fair enough. So good to know. That was up throw, right? Not a down throw? Yeah, because the down throw slams you into the ground. All right, I'm caught up. I don't see many Corrins, but this is a new one for me. Corrin, a great character, very well-rounded with those nice hitboxes on the neutral air and the up air, but none of them connecting just yet. Kip still clinging to this stock, 160%, where we usually see Kip, the one at least who says that, that Backman can struggle to close stocks off. That time around, it will be enough, and pretty undeniably so. Kip just about disappeared there.
Yeah, it's weird that the Byleth up throw kind of works like that, but Kip able to grab the bell. Oh, you're so right.
The other Fire Emblem main character.
Yeah. Sorry, how many of those are there?
I don't know, like a lot.
Hey, listen, great franchise.
Robin, Chrom, Marth, Byleth, Corrin.
A lot of sorties.
Yeah, a lot of sorties. And exactly why the community seemed to be pretty upset when they added another one in the Fighter Pass. Yep. But whatever.
Hey.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, hey, listen, we'll get the main character of Fire Emblem Engage soon enough.
Yeah, in the next game on the Switch too. Yeah. All right, well, back to the action. Tied stock count here at 11. The bell gets grabbed and Z dropped. Kip in a little bit of danger, but still at a pretty low percentage. Does get a grab off and a back throw, not enough. So bells come out in the down tilt. Wow, just snipes at the ledge. Was that a two-frame or a re-grab?
I think it was a two-frame.
It looked like a two-frame to me.
Yeah, great call out for Kip being able to time that, get that stock secured. But at the same time, Mr. Draco, not wanting to go down too early, is looking for even more. As we see apple combos, Chris. You like ladders with apples? It's a beautiful thing.
That's a new one for me. That's not what I've seen Kip do before, but continues to surprise me even this late in the season. Now Corrin finding some good percentage onto Kip. A massive read there, but Kip ready for it. Parries the smash attack and going for it all.
She can't make it
back.
back.
Reversal, but Mr. Draco can't make it back, and Kip holds on to that stock. So make it a reversal of set number 1. Kip walks out with 3 and only loses 1, forcing Southwestern Oklahoma State to make a massive decision here.
And that is not what you wanted. You made the change expecting that Samus would need to make an impact somewhere else. That's what is implied when you take a change of matchup going into the next series. But now Kip has made an appearance, and a pretty strong one at that, which now begs the question, Samus was the answer last time. Do you rely on what you have seen before, or do you try and make a big call going forward? Those are the kind of things that can reverse series back in your favor, but for right now, I think the answer's got to be Samus.
I think I agree, right? Looking at this roster, looking at the characters that we saw in the last set, we know that Southwestern Oklahoma State is not afraid to put in subs here and there to change around their roster, not only position-wise, but in terms of the 4 that we will see. So I hesitate to cling to those 4, but even with the Kazuya and the Joker that we didn't see, I mean, I have to think that the only character of those that will be able to deal with Kip while not giving up advantages elsewhere would have to be this Samus. But I don't know. That is a scary situation. That's a scary pull, a scary start for Swosu.
Yeah, so with all that being said, Corrin did take, I think, the same amount of stocks as they did the last time. They went in against Igloo and got one stock
one.
in exchange for 3, and we're seeing a repeat of last time. But that also speaks to another fact. Igloo is now still sitting in reserve, and one of the players who used to take 1 stock off of this very intimidating dinosaur is now off the table.
Yeah, and if we're sort of looking back at last set, while yes, Corrin went even in taking 1 stock last time and this time, the biggest difference, in my opinion, is that Kip just took 3 and has an opportunity to take more. Where does that lighten the load? It lightens the load on Igloo, right? Igloo had an all-time performance in the last set, going into some of his worst matchups that he can imagine, and coming out with not only a win over that, but 6 stocks total. Granted, that would be hard to replicate, and while I'm sure Igloo has all the confidence in the world that he can, all of a sudden that becomes a lot easier, right? 3 of those 6 stocks that he was able to take last time around are now gone. Granted, he'll probably have to take others in a different form, but the burden on the rest of the team is now lighter because Kip comes out with 3 and theoretically counting.
Yeah. There's so much working in Shenandoah's favor right now. We do receive word that Agent A will be making an appearance once again. Samus running it back in to try and stop the Pack from doing what Pack does best. And this Pac-Man prefers to, once he starts eating, it becomes a feast.
Yeah, it's certainly a massive moment here for both of these schools. I mean, this is early on in this set. There's a lot of Smash still to be played, but boy, could this turn the tide one way or another. And you hear what I hear?
Oh, Chris.
That means Kip got the music pick. Home field advantage here for this Pac-Man. We'll see if it's enough to make a difference, but Galaga gets grabbed, and now Samus able to just run away. Forced to get rid of it eventually, but that up B out of shield, very quick, very oppressive. See, now Kip with an opportunity again. Goes into the shield, gets caught by the up B, but not too much damage going Samus's way just yet, as 1 hit from the Galaga already bringing up 10% the other direction, and here comes one of those patented combos. Does catch the grab on the tech situation. Now, advantage Kip in terms of percentage, but big read there on the forward smash. Agent A able to make their way back, find a forward air, and now the Zeros come out.
Chris, I'm noticing something about Kip's playstyle. He's been walking more. He's been just kind of taking it a little bit slower and trying to deal with Agent A. And I wonder if Agent A is playing to the rhythm of Kip trying to run all the time. And because of that, it's messing with the timings. It's messing with the flow. So now things are starting to be even. Yes, both players are sitting at even percents. This is looking like a repeat of what we saw the first time around. 1 quick neutral B charge into a dash attack will be able to secure a stock for Agent A, but it's going to be on Kip to find a way to close out this stock as Agent A sits in shield for a hot minute to try and bait out the bell.
Yeah, the charge shot does get shielded, so Kip dodges a bullet there, but 140% now on this Samus. Forced to go through the trampoline, but doesn't stop the recovery, so Agent A makes their way back to center stage. They trade with the Hydrant. Another shielded neutral B.
Can't be air dodging there.
Yep, caught air dodging into the bell. Kip finds his first off this Samus and his 4th of the series. So hard to complain now with an opportunity to do more, but again, caught with that up B out of shield. Such a strong option for Samus. Oh, grabbed into the Hydrant. Interesting combo there, but nothing too crazy. Kip's grab goes wide and will get punished there. Stringing combos together. Oh no! The charge shot lands, but not enough. Does get the kill spark, but another charge shot lands, and again, the timing from Agent A here to play the ledge does get caught. Air dodging there, and Kip bows out again. So, 2 stocks remaining on the Samus, but Kip finds 4 this time around.
Man, I need to shout out Kip for a minute, because that matchup looks very difficult. And for this guy to sit down after 3 hours of casting on Sunday and say, I'm going to warm up this matchup, I'm going to take the time to learn a little bit more about what I could be doing in these sorts of situations, it's paying off. It might not be much, but it's still enough that it's made a difference. If there was not 1 stock gone from that Samus in the last crew battle, Shenandoah wouldn't have walked away with that series. And now, once again, 4 stocks into the hand of Kip. Corrin is off the table. That is 1 stock taken away from or that is one stock now that Igloo can hold on to. And again, a repeat of last time, where we may see Igloo make another appearance to try and put the brakes on this bounty hunter.
Yeah, I think you all saw what we saw, right? That did look like Igloo sitting down in the hot seat. So looks like we are going to get a repeat of last time. The biggest question is, can he do it again? Right? That was the biggest storyline of last set. Igloo went in and popped off against a character that he does not like to play against. Well, one time worked out great, but can you do it again? And if you're Southwestern Oklahoma State, this is your really only window to come back at this point. It's going to take a massive win over Igloo now to stay alive in this series.
And the way Igloo was playing in the last series, it felt like a different Dino than they would have seen on every other stream. There was something about the way Igloo played, and I mentioned it during the match. There were so many forward airs being thrown out, just hitbox after hitbox, not letting this Samus get the chance to breathe. And make sure that they know at any given point that they could be taken from 0 to 70 real quick. It's very possible that they will not have the sort of knowledge and check of this Igloo. Igloo is so very particular about his playstyle. He's very familiar with Yoshi at just all levels. It's frankly super cool to watch. But I don't know, Chris. It feels like you need to be able to adapt on the fly, and that's what makes top 8 NECC is your ability to adapt on the fly. But if you can't do that right here and now, it could very well spell disaster.
Yeah, we know that, again, these teams earn the right to be here. These teams are the 8 best teams in NECC. But only one team can walk out of here, and it is going to take some high-level adaptations down the road either way, both sides, to come out on top. So here is Southwestern Oklahoma State University's opportunity. Can you make the adaptation? Can you change the narrative? Can you change what happened last time these two players met? Or will you walk out of this set down 2 players and even more momentum in SU's hands? We shall see.
Yes, let's hop into game, Chris, because we get to see a run back of what we saw before. Can Agent A really bring it forward and show all the possible options going ahead? Or will Igloo run away once again? Looking like Agent A has figured something out to start things off. A lot of good hits, getting a couple of combos started, but Igloo now sitting back. I will acknowledge, too, that the stage has changed. We're playing on Battlefield this time around, which may work a little bit better for Samus in regards to just getting these projectiles out and preventing Igloo from landing on top of Samus.
Yeah, again, you see the matchup preference on the side of your screen. We've mentioned it a couple times. This is a nightmare for Yoshi to play into, but Igloo has been practicing this just about all week and is more than ready for the moment, I have to assume. Certainly was last time, and now finding some success. But again, Agent A, I'm sure, was a little caught off guard as well last time around, as we do see the Nair connect there and find Igloo's first. Oh, Igloo goes a little dangerously off stage, but is able to make it back. A lot of hitboxes coming out from Agent A. Like I was saying earlier, right? I do think part of the big upset last time around was Agent A just getting pretty caught off guard by Igloo's playstyle, Igloo's decision-making into that matchup, and it ultimately paid off in Igloo's favor. So, with a bit more preparation, a bit more knowledge about Igloo, can Agent A come out on top? See.
Yeah, the big difference, Chris, between this time and last time is the stage counter pick, I'm telling you. Because when Igloo went in, Igloo was the one counterpicking the Samus, but this time around the Samus is counterpicking Igloo. So a lot of it is working into Samus's favor. It feels like it's very difficult for Igloo to land on this character right now as he's trying to hit that sweet spot of not landing on the platforms, but even still, it's just not working out exactly how he wants it, and because of that, the percentage is building up quickly as Agent A looks for another opportunity to try and close the stock.
Yeah, a bit of panic from both sides there, but Agent A does get a grab, and it will be an up throw. It will not be enough to secure that stock, so Igloo lives to fight another day. Charge shot comes out, well shielded. Forward air comes out as well, but still not enough. No spike there by the ledge, so the eggs will go flying, and Igloo gets caught on the shield, and up B will confirm. And again, 2 stocks in a row for Agent A as now they look to turn this one on it.
Yeah, Agent A looking for a potential follow-up on that charge shot, but the double jump armor and Igloo in place for a moment, only to jump through as Igloo looked for the up smash on the Clank. It won't KO just yet as Igloo finds the up air, but I think at this point it's going to be a lot of just playing that patient game. Look at this. Igloo trying to find another opportunity. There's those forward airs that we were talking about before. A couple eggs thrown out, trying to get that ledge situation. Samus able to go for the regrab. Let's go one more time, dodging past Igloo's options. As they go back onto the stage, Igloo finds another forward air, keeping the damage rolling. Able to get the egg follow-up. Samus stalling off the side of the stage. Has to use the up B a little too early, which means that Igloo is going to find 1 stock and sitting at 95, looking for an opportunity to still knock this Samus out.
Yeah, great awareness there by Igloo to recognize the situation off stage and capitalize with a well-placed egg. So now Igloo does find their first, but not before losing 2 stocks and taking a lot of percentage. You have to think that Igloo is pretty close to losing this one. It would take a heck of a run to come back from this situation, but we've been surprised already today about this matchup, and there's nothing saying that Igloo couldn't do it again. Able to jump over that charge shot, trying to find his way in. He does get a nair there, but the follow-up just barely misses, and the forward air connects. Won't be enough just yet, but the charge shot certainly looking. Igloo able to recover very far away from any danger that time around. So shields that one, and that egg is looking awfully weak, but 174% in the down tilt will absolutely do it. So Igloo walks out with 1 and is now putting Shenandoah in a bit of a tight situation to put this last stock away on Agent A.
Yeah, it's a repeat of last time, but the table is turned. We are seeing that Southwestern Oklahoma State University is able to keep momentum going on this Samus with a little bit more value, just trying to brute force their way through this, which means now there are 2 players on Shenandoah's roster that need to get through this Samus and 2 more, and both of these remaining players have struggled with that Game & Watch.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing to keep an eye on, but right now, Agent A looking very good, and with 1 stock to work with, has to go now into what we all saw there, I believe, is Farambus. So Farambus is going to have to, I believe, go into a pretty tough matchup here. I don't think Jigglypuff is going to love the Samus matchup. I guess I'm not too confident in that, but I mean, even in my notes here, I wrote that Samus was particularly good into both Pac-Man and Yoshi. So to say that we didn't see this coming, right, the first time was certainly a surprise from Igloo, able to catch Agent A on their heels, catch him flat-footed, but this time around, Swosu was ready for it. So can Farambus go in and right the ship and ideally take 1 stock here?
Yeah, Agent A is a very good player, especially when it comes to not being too jumpy on the upbeats out of shield. You can be pretty quick on your up B out of shield when you have a really nice option with your character, but if you miss, it can spell disaster. And I think Igloo was looking for that on that last stock to potentially snowball a crazy lead. Farambus is going to be sitting in that blind spot that up B can reach. It's going to be on Agent A to take the shot of whether or not they should try to poke Farambus, sitting above that little Samus, potentially calling out with the up Bs and the up smashes. There's a lot of end lag on those. You just gotta be smart about when those options come out, and that could mean that Agent A continues this series, or it could mean that Farambus finds an opening in that blind spot to really run away with it and even things out.
Yeah, again, opportunities on both sides of the ball here. Farambus with an opportunity to tie this up and seize momentum back at least a little bit, or Agent A with an opportunity to really build a deficit here and take as many stocks off SU's third player as possible. We'll see, but we are getting confirmation that it will be Faramis officially going in for SU as their third player. Agent A with 1 stock remaining, and we are getting into game here, Kev. A big one on our hands. Igloo coming up with 1, but not enough to put Agent A away. So for the first time here tonight, we see Agent A move on to a third player for SU.
Yeah, Agent A going to have to run off stage 2 times before getting this series going. As we see the Hollow Bastion pick, Faramis immediately going for the platform, but Agent A taking full advantage, going for those up airs to get the damage onto Faramis and keep things going as the down air drills connect, and these charge shots are just going to take up a lot of space.
Yeah, this is a scary start for Faramis, but with 3 stocks to work with, nothing too crazy. The forward air lands. Faramis looking for his first connected hitbox. There we go. 1 down air was going to string Agent A far off stage, and now forced to air dodge. Okay, is able to make it back. An opportunity there from Faramis, well capitalized for the most part, but not enough to come up with a stock. So Agent A does catch the neutral B with land the neutral B with a jump, and Faramis sent to the blast zone for the first time.
And with that being said, it could be that Faramis continues to find a little bit more momentum here, but the percent is building up quickly once again. It's on Agent A to really play back and use those hitboxes to call out the approaches of Faramis. Faramis, on the other hand, seeing a couple of shields too long from Agent A, going for these pounds to really bring home the money.
Yeah, certainly eyeing the shield, and we'll keep an eye on that. If it is to turn into more, that might be it. Faramis.
Magnet hands, Chris.
Magnet hands again. Agent A able to come up from that one, and not much punish from Faramis off the ledge. So we return back to stage. Agent A up to 110% now.
Ooh.
Does dodge the grab, and the back air connects. They trade 1 for 1. Well done there by Faramis. A trade totally fine, you have to imagine, with this SU squad as they finally get this Samus off the table.
God, Chris, I wish I had the teleprompter in front of me. I have talked a lot about that blind spot for a lot of characters, and Samus has a pretty good moveset to deal with that blind spot, but I kid you not that Jigglypuff did a dash back, did a slingshot, dash back, jump up in the air, fling themselves back at Samus, and it barely goes over the grab hitbox in that sweet blind spot to land into the back air. I'm telling you, when Jigglypuff works, Jigglypuff works.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That's the condition. It seems silly, but here we are this far into the season. Yeah, when Jigglypuff works, and that's a big one out of Faramis. Again, both set 1 and set 2, Faramis coming up with important stocks when needed. So Agent A now off the table, and you have to think probably Palutena goes in here from Swosu if they are to continue this momentum and theoretically save Game & Watch for Willie again.
Right, and I can tell from what we saw on the camera that Willie is definitely wanting a bit of a run back at that. I think that matchup went a little bit worse than how Willie drew it up, and so the kind of players that Shenandoah's players are, they want another chance to go at it. It's like some Dragon Ball Z sort of stuff where it's just like, yeah, I got my butt kicked, but like, let's keep running it back. Like, I'll keep fighting you. I heard you're strong. But with all that being said, I'm hoping that Afforgot, the Palutena player, should go into this with the mental of, I need to clear the Jigglypuff. We saw how that Game & Watch matchup went. It was pretty back and forth, but it's clear that Game & Watch had a lot of momentum just purely off of what we saw in the last group battle, or in the last round of the series. If Afforgot can take the stocks off of Jigglypuff, that's a pretty big win for Swosu. But on the other side of that, it's going to be on Faramis to try and halt as much momentum as possible. Try to get, like, ideally 2 off of this Palu and set Willie up for 3 stocks going into the Game & Watch player. Whether that is by knocking out this Palu player, whether it is taking 2 off the Palu player, it is very possible for Willie to go into a matchup and still hold on to 3 stocks if the answer is I need to take 1.
Yeah, that's the dream here for Far Rhombus would be to go relatively even against what we assume to be this Palutena, right?
Yeah.
Save stocks, but
We are being jump scared, Chris.
yeah, it looks like we've got a bit of a surprise coming. A massive decision here from Swosu. They mixed us up, and they're sending the Game & Watch, E-Dog, to try to deal with Far Rhombus again. Last time this happened, Far Rhombus came out again with some pretty important stocks, and while it didn't
I think
take
this might be a button check.
word.
I could be wrong. They're kind of Far Rhombus is kind of stalling quickly, but I also see that E-Dog is kind of going for a lot of
Well, they're on opposite sides.
okay. No, wait, we saw a taunt. E-Dog's still going. E-Dog's still grooving. Look at him move, Chris. Look at him dance.
We'll see. I mean, okay, we'll bring you back to us for now and see if the players start fighting in a minute here or not. But it looks like, we are going to get into the action here. All right. So the big mix-up there in a couple ways from Southwestern Oklahoma State University, but we get into the action, right? All of that behind us. Far Rhombus looking to take more important stocks in this set. E-Dog with an opportunity to try and set up who we assume to be Palutena sitting in the back against Willie.
Yeah, E-Dog, needed to make sure that those up Bs are coming out at just the right time in that button check. So as we see the down air come out from Far Rhombus, a couple of good hits here, potentially trying to bait Game & Watch in. E-Dog looking for the up smash to start things off. Far Rhombus sitting in center stage and not trying to give up much more. Using the space pretty well, trying to get E-Dog to be the one to dash in, as E-Dog's doing a lot of dashing forward, dashing back and forth, looking for the next option. Good grab from E-Dog will secure a little bit of center stage control, only for Far Rhombus to take a back air to return it back into the Puff's favor.
Yeah, Far Rhombus doing a good job of settling into this one after a great start from E-Dog. Far Rhombus has not given much more since then. Now caught above the Game & Watch, and oh no, drifts back into the forward air. Disaster strikes for Far Rhombus, but still plenty of time to execute and claw back into this one. The same rules apply as when we thought this would be Palutena. The dream would be to go even, or at least as even as possible against this Game & Watch, but that's got to start with taking this stock probably pretty soon.
Yeah, so as we see the neutral bleed come out from this Game & Watch, trying to call out the approaches with the back air. See a couple trampoline uses, trying to go for the up smash into the chair, covering space as much as possible. Hits a couple more good hits, finds the down smash. It won't connect on the grounded hitbox, but will send Far Rhombus flying as the nairs connect once again, and it's going to be difficult for Far Rhombus to land. There's that chair, Chris, connecting at the side of the stage, and that will be enough for Swosu to take out Far Rhombus.
Okay, so a bad situation for SU as Far Rhombus comes up empty-handed against E-Dog, and now Willie forced to take 2 players on by himself, including a full 3-stock Game & Watch that we saw go pretty even with Willie last time these 2 players met. Now, worth mentioning that Willie, I believe of all the players on this SU squad, is the most comfortable into Palutena. So while you have to think that Willie would come out on top against the Palutena in a head-to-head, now there is a full 3-stock Game & Watch that he's going to have to get through in a cleaner fashion than last time.
Yeah, and when Willie is in these sorts of situations, we usually see a character swap up. If there are a lot of stocks to be taken, Willie feels pretty comfortable in sitting on Terry, but I wouldn't be surprised if Willie has good experience against Palu. Willie's the kind of player that can think very foresight-y, really focus on what's ahead as well as what's in front, and may want to pick Kazuya just for that matchup alone.
Yeah, I have to think, again, while the Kazuya Game & Watch matchup looked a little bit scary for SU the first time around, we did see the matchup preference. Willie has expressed that he actually really likes the Game & Watch matchup, and we know that he really likes the Palutena matchup on Kazuya specifically. So I do wonder if that's enough to keep him on Kazuya, but you're right. Usually in this grand scheme situation, we see the Terry come out when forced to go on late runs like this, but we await that decision, and we'll let you know as soon as we know. But if I had to bet, I'm thinking that Kazuya might stay out and just try to both intimidate and build as much momentum as possible in this first matchup.
Yeah, and if that's the case, you have to play a pretty glass cannon-y Kazuya. You're playing against 6 stocks. You're expecting to lose anywhere between 1 to 2 each match, and up against 2 characters that work in guarantees. Palutena having a really nice Nair train, and Game & Watch getting a lot of chip damage off of the up B and the key. It's going to be difficult, but I know that Willie's the kind of player who can really slow things down if needed to. I mean, we've seen Willie bring it to a halt in the past. Obviously, there's no snake in this matchup,
Right.
but even so, again, there's a lot of matchup knowledge that this player has. It's just a matter of, can it be applied in these instances? Is E-Dog playing as most Game & Watches do, or are there a couple of small changes that is really going to make a difference in Willie's game plan?
Yeah, hard to say, but I can say that during that small break we took between sets, I walked out in the arena for the couple minutes that we had, and I saw Willie already labbing out against a Game & Watch in the practice tool thing in the training mode. So I do think there are interactions and certain things he noticed that he would like to flip around this time around. I'm curious to see if we'll see those adaptations, but it's clear to me that Willie's ready for this rematch. Granted, the statistics are not in his favor, right? And no matter how ready you are, that does not make this any easier, but being prepared can make a big difference. So we will see if Willie can get it done. 6 stocks ahead of him, 2 players for Southwestern Oklahoma State. 3 stocks on this Game & Watch to start, and you have to deal with what's in front of you. So that's what Willie's going to do.
Yeah, and with all that being said, it's going to be on these players to figure out what is the best option to keep things rolling when it comes to their options, their approaches. And I think Willie has a good amount for dealing with a Game & Watch matchup. But at the same time, that character is so floaty. It is just upbeing. And obviously, everyone hears Kazuya Mishima and they think about Twitter clips of Kazuya doing a full 70 into the demon fist and then dragon uppercut. And oh my goodness, that person died. Put it on YouTube. It'll get thousands of views. It's not that easy. Not in this matchup.
Yeah. And funny little thing, we just saw the players get into a button check again, and Willie accidentally hit E-Dog, so they reset, if you're wondering why we have a bit of an extended break. But we load back in to what is the real matchup between these 2 players. Willie, again, with a tall mountain to climb, 6 stocks ahead of him, with an opportunity, a ticket to semifinals on the line. But a set in favor of SU means that they've got games to give if this doesn't fall their way. So, an opportunity, if nothing else. Now, that one surprises me, Kevin.
What? I'm sorry. The way that move is supposed to work is that you go through the opponent and they get stunned, but instead, Chris, we're seeing the full Willie experience. He's going down, Chris. E-Dog has lost 2 stocks, and it's not even been 40 seconds.
Okay, make it a sweet spot forward smash from the platform to steal the 2nd stock before we even knew it. Willie, now with an opportunity, catches the down smash and lag. Okay, Willie not able to capitalize that one, but this might be it. Willie might get a 3 stock. It is enough. The rage drive finishes it off, making a quick, clean 3 stock and revenge for last time against Game & Watch. And now Willie has tied the stock count at 3 with 1 player left and all the momentum in the world in SU's favor.
I think my man got possessed. I think my man encompassed everything that Kazuya Mishima stands for and made sure there was nothing left standing by the time that match started. You want to talk about real-time labbing? Look at this replay, Chris. My man got hit
crazy
by a side B in the air on a hitbox that was big enough because it's bigger in the air. But then you also see the next stock. I mean, my man got grabbed once. It wasn't even a grab. Look at this.
Gets caught rolling on the platform. Willie all over it, and then charging the down smash. Willie able to turn that into so much more. The rage drive, the comeback mechanic. Willie putting it all on display. Every aspect of Kazuya came out in that one, and Willie comes out on top every single time.
I don't get it, man. I said there was not going to be any Twitter clip. You know, it's going to be a hard matchup. Game & Watch is going to be in the air. That match didn't last more than a minute and 20 seconds. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe there will be some clips. Maybe I should not underestimate Willie and his ability to just put on the gas. That was beautiful.
Okay, so as exciting as that was, we do all need to take a breather because while, yes, that was an incredible showing out of Willie, and SU has so much momentum now. Swosu really on their heels right now, but an even stock count is still in front of us. This is still a raw 3v3 or one-on-one stock count head-to-head matchup. The thing is, Willie loves the Palutena matchup. The biggest question, in my opinion, is will this Palutena be willing to sit and wait and camp Willie out as long as needed? Because it seems to me that that is going to be the only way to get through all three of these Kazuya stocks.
I feel like it's not easy to sit back as Palu that long. I feel like you got the two projectiles. You have your orbital, like, laser thing, and you have the explosive flame. And that's it. And if you catch Willie, like, if Willie finds a way around that explosive flame in the right spot, if you commit to that move just a little too close to that scary demon man, you will be face to face with the demon, and you will see God afterwards.
Yeah, that could easily be a whole stock. Because, yeah, that move has crazy end lag.
Oh, man. It's going to be hard for this Palutena player, but going in 3 for 3, I mean, I've seen it. The last time I saw Willie fight a Palu player, it was at Supernova, and that Palu player tried to camp out Willie, and it did not go well. That VOD is on, I think, VG Bootcamp's channel.
Probably.
If y'all want to check that afterwards, because if you want a repeat of what happened with that Game & Watch, it looked a little similar.
Yeah. Now, again, the experience, the knowledge in this matchup matters, because I also think the last time I saw Willie play against the Palutena, it was at Xanadu back in like December. And Willie did come up short in that one. That series went like the distance. It was a best of 5. I think that was late in bracket. But Willie did come up just short on that one. So either way, Willie, very familiar with this matchup, has seen both sides and knows what it takes to come out on top. Biggest question, can he execute? You see the matchup preference, and that is mostly based off his experience.
Chris
might be down
dead.
One of those stocks! Willie with a strong start. Aftergot caught on a bad tech there, and now Willie's not done.
Oh yeah, Willie's looking for it, Chris. Willie is just going for options for the sake of going for it, because if one of these things connects, you're going down. It's insane. Looking for another down smash, trying to armor the approach of the dash attack. I mean, Willie is trying to look for it, but a very good up air from Aftergot. Aftergot will be able to get a bit more out of Willie, getting a stock, a little bit more of the combo pressure. Palu able to turn it around a little bit, but Willie looking for the next group of electrics. I'm noticing that Aftergot is not finding great opportunities to run away from Willie, but instead is getting a little too close to the scary demon man, and an up smash connects, but we're on Kalos.
Kalos, oh no! A high blast zone, but Willie's not done. He does find a good grab there, and Palutena forced to recover, but Willie all over that one with his own up B. Finds, excuse me, the second stock, making me choke over my words here, as Willie is in full control right now and one stock away from sending Shenandoah to semifinals.
The invincibility through the aerial for the electric to connect. Chris, Willie doing a little bit of stalling off stage. Palu going off trying to match Kazuya, but instead will have to find a way back onto the stage. Willie looking for the side beat to potentially close things out. Does have the kill button, but does air dodge into a Palu up smash that will KO Kalos or not. So one stock to one stock. Willie looking for the last hit, but I forgot doing what they needed to do at the start. Sit back and do not get close to the scary demon man.
Yeah, the season on the line for Southwestern Oklahoma State. So much pressure on Afregot here. Willie, yes, one stock away from sending Shenandoah to semifinals, but with a full set lead. I mean, doesn't need to play like the season's on the line. I mean, there's a full 12 stocks behind this if necessary, and we're seeing the results of that. Willie looking very comfortable right now, more than willing to sit and wait for a misstep like that. Willie gets it done. One stock down the hatch, and Willie goes on the 6-stock run he needed to send Shenandoah into the top 4 of NECC Nationals.
Pure revenge in this man's eyes. Look at that.
The boys.
Look at that, baby. I am loving what I'm seeing, Chris. The team feeling good. But, man, to go from a nail-biter of Series 1 for Shenandoah to be down 6 stocks to 3, and Willie just saying, nah, I'd win this. Look at this. That was beautiful.
Nah, baby, nah. That's textbook. That's character building right there out of SU. Digging deep 2 sets in a row. Again, let's not forget that both of those sets went down to 1-to-1 stock counts, right? Both of those sets came down to last hits. Either way, the second one, Willie still at a lower percentage, but I mean, that could have been disastrous. Willie was down 6 stocks to 3 at one point. You cannot deny how close those sets were, but SU digs deep, plants their feet, and showcases that they belong in the top 4 teams in the country. Boy, do they deserve it.
They deserve it and more, Chris. I want to see more of these players. I'm glad that we get to see more of these players. This is a single elimination bracket, Chris. That does mean that Southwestern Oklahoma State University is knocked out in top 8. And a beautiful run, a reverse, or able to upset their previous opponent. I mean, you have to be proud, but man, that was like Shenandoah's players got to feel real good.
Yeah, you have to, especially coming off of a forfeit against an opponent that SU really was looking forward to playing, right? You have to then question, do we deserve to be as far as we are? Well, I'd say so. A massive win over their top 8 opponent. SU advances to play in top 4. We're going to send this to a break and see if we can get one of the players on the mic, see how they're feeling.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
Over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
Nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry, so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth, where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you bearing with us. And you might be wondering why that break took so long, or took as long as it did. It's because we weren't actually sure if the next round of the tournament was going to be played tonight or not. But that has since been resolved, and not only will there not be a game tonight, but the presumptive opponent, the Fisher squad that had earned their way to top 4, has actually pulled their team out of the tournament due to other conflicts, which means good news if you're a Shenandoah fan, because SU has earned their ticket to the national championship on next Tuesday.
And that excites me, Chris, because we're talking about the best of the best. Shenandoah has the chance to walk away trophy in hand with a squad that I argue deserves it. I mean, we have seen between all of the different players changes in how they play in the crew battle, adapting to each other's needs, what they want going forward in any given potential matchup, and really starting to find that flow. For them to finally make their stand and have a shot at this championship, I'm feeling pretty good for them.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm sure the team feels real good out in the arena, but you'll have to wait and see the result of the national championship. But be sure to drop us a follow on all of our socials and whatever platform you're watching on right now so you don't miss out on that upcoming, as well as our Rocket League team is still competing in their NECC national tournament. So their next game will be on Thursday. You won't want to miss that either. But that will do it for us here tonight. Congratulations to the team out in the arena, and we anxiously await their next matchup. I'm Chris Clayton. This is Kevin Clayton. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might just change their life. We will see you next time.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
Over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
Nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry, so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth, where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
Live from our Shenandoah Esports Arena here, where we get to take you through our top 8 remaining in the NECC National Tournament. I'm Chris Clayton, this is my lovely brother Kevin, and we have an exciting matchup for you tonight as the Shenandoah University Varsity Smash Bros team is geared up to take on Southwestern Oklahoma State University. A whole bunch of problems for that Houston roster, and I'm sure they're expecting the same result here tonight. So a big moment, a big opportunity for SF. Well-placed charge shot charge, but doesn't come out. A down air into an up air from Agent A, still not enough. Wow, the down
That a lot of Pac-Man's moves offer in return. So right now, we do see back throw. Samus going for it all, instead losing the stock. Samus is just heavy enough, along with some very good DI, to hold on for a little bit longer.
Man, this has been a tale of two halves, hasn't it? Oh no, Kip does get grabbed through. Wow, I mean, playing like he's got nothing to lose, and that might be what it takes to win this matchup.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm seeing a lot more of these aggressive forward airs. Chris, that's a lot.
To strike back, racking some percentage of their own, and catching Igloo with a big charge shot up by the platform. on that one. Able to avoid the next one, but a back air with some of these recoveries.
Yeah, keep an eye on this charge shot, Chris. If Agent A goes for another charge shot, it's been a lot of charges, but instead goes for a very aggressive up B. Like,
Capitalized there, so Igloo returns back to the stage, and we go back to the game we're playing. Very slow, nice forward air there, but
canceling the side B. I mean, that could really lead to some crazy setups, but wall movement is incredibly important in Ultimate. You need to find your way to KO.
Oh, wow.
And that
Reverse there. Finds a great combo there. The up smash into the down B. Goes off stage for more. Another one goes just wide. And now Draco looking for more. But the down time to time. But see if he's able to find a big one here, as now Warren finds himself up at 100%, looking for a forward smash. Some desperate options! Wow, and another one of those forward airs. That's the most pop-off you'll ever see from Captain Igloo there. A fist bump and move on to next matchup, but he for the one to put it away.
Yeah, there's that back air. Because of the high percent volt combo into the up air too easily. Good DI from Palutena, but a back air feels like it shouldn't be this close, and yet even so, Igloo is just doing an amazing job of holding onto the stock, is on the hunt all the time. The forward tilt connects, but it's not going to be enough, Chris. It's going to have to take one more. The up smash connects. It will hit the shield of Igloo.
On the board, and Afrigot just struggling to find their one. Igloo has now found multiple and sends Southwestern Oklahoma State down to 4 stocks.
Far Rhombus' stock instead will eat a little bit from Far Rhombus in exchange, as both players are hitting that late percentage where one back air will, but the teleport is called out. Does go a little high. Dash attack connects, sending the other way. It won't KO just yet, but you see teleport recovery able to get back. The dash attack connects, and it will KO the stock just yet, as Game & Watch goes to the heavens to look to KO Far Rhombus.
Yeah, up air lands up above the platform, but still not enough. The neutral air from basically the ground is the one to finally get it done, but quickly responded by...
As much as you want, which means that if E-Dog wants to just close the stock that way, E-Dog will try to close the stock that way.
Yeah, percentage certainly favoring E-Dog there, but if nothing else, finds some good percentage back. So, again, going to be hard to find his way in. He does get caught by the down smash, and it charges. We go on.
Yeah, the bucket in this matchup can actually be extremely dangerous, Chris, so it's going to be on Willie to be very careful with those lasers. Ooh. But E-Dog caught going for the back. He will, but 66% in the favor of Willie.
Yeah, now close to the kill button, and he's got it. The Rage Drive on the line, but not from...
Oh, it's not. I apologize. A very good DI from E-Dog will be able to make it back onto the stage. Willie looking for an opportunity to land. The down smash does not hit in the grounded sweet spot. Willie with the KO button will be looking for that final hit. Does get the air version. It will connect on the stage. Is it enough?
Wow!
It is! Willie able to close it out in a sigh of relief. Normally, Kip doesn't feel the pressure to get momentum going. He's usually able to charge the fruit, and the opponent feels the need to approach. But this time around, it's quite the opposite, as
Mr. to this stock, 160%, where we usually see Kip, the one, at least, who says that, that Backman can struggle to close stocks off. That time around, grabbed and Z dropped. Kip in a little bit of danger, but still at a pretty low percentage. Does get a grab off and a back throw, not enough. So, Bells come out in the down tilt percentage on to Kip. A massive read there, but Kip ready for it. Parries the smash attack and going for it all.
She can't make it
scary
back.
Reversal, but Mr. Draco can't make it.
Messing with the flow, so now things are starting to be even. Yes, both players are sitting at even percents. This is looking like a repeat of what we saw the first time around. One quick neutral B charge into...
Doesn't stop the recovery, so Agent A makes their way back to center stage. They trade with the Hydrant. Another shielded neutral B.
Can't be air dodging there.
Lands, but not enough. Does get the kill spark, but another charge shot lands, and again, the timing from Agent A here to play the ledge does get caught. I have to assume, certainly was last time, and now finding some success. But again, Agent A, I'm sure, was a little caught off guard as well last time around. Shielded. Forward air comes out as well, but still not enough. No spike there by the ledge, so the eggs will go flying, and Igloo gets caught on the shield.
Back onto the stage. Igloo finds another forward air, keeping the damage rolling. Able to get the egg follow-up. Samus stalling off the side of the stage. Has to use the up B a little too early, which means
very far away from any danger that time around. So shields that one, and that egg is looking awfully weak. But 174% in the down is able to make it back. An opportunity there from Faramis, well capitalized for the most part, but not enough to come up with a stock. So Agent A does catch the punish from Faramis off the ledge. So we return back to stage. Agent A up to 110% now.
Ooh.
Does dodge the grab, and the back air connects. A great start from E-Dog. Faramis has not given much more since then. Now caught above the Game & Watch, and oh no, drifts back into
more good hits, finds the down smash, and won't connect on the grounded hitbox, but will send Faramis flying as the nairs connect once again, and it's going to be difficult for Faramis to land. There's that chair, Chris. Connected.
That they've got games to give if this doesn't fall their way. So an opportunity, if nothing else. Now that one surprises me, Kevin.
What? I'm sorry. The way that move is supposed to work is that you go through the opponent and they get stunned, but instead, Chris, we're seeing the full Willie experience. He's going.
Flag. Okay. Willie able or not able to capitalize
Chris,
that one, but
Chris,
this might be it. Willie might get a 3 stock. It is enough. The range drive finishes it off. Biggest question, can he execute? You see the matchup preference, and that is mostly based off his experience.
Chris,
you
Chris
might be down
dead.
one of those stocks.
These things connect. You're going down. It's insane. Looking for another down smash, trying to armor the approach of the dash attack. I mean, Willie is trying to look for up smash connects, but we're on Kalos.
Kalos. Oh no! A high blast zone, but Willie's not done. He does find a good grab there, and Palutena forced to recover.
Trying to match Kazuya, but instead we'll have to find a way back onto the stage. Willie looking for the side beat to potentially close things out. Does have the kill button, but does air dodge into a
Season's on the line. I mean, there's a full 12 stocks behind this if necessary, and we're seeing the results of that. Willie looking very comfortable right now, more than willing to sit and wait for a misstep like that. Willie gets it done. 1 stock down the hatch, and Willie goes on the 6th stock run he needed to send Shenandoah into the top 4 of NECC Nationals.
pure revenge in this man.
SU has earned their ticket to the National Championship on next Tuesday.
And that excites me, Chris, because we're talking about the best of the best. Shenandoah has the chance to walk away trophy in hand with a squad that